All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Chris, and a little bittersweet today. I went out to the range today, and I spent 2.5 hours out there. Thought I was doing pretty good. Shooting was a little iffy, but after looking at the footage, I can't put you guys through that, and I'm not going to embarrass myself putting that stuff out there. So we're going to do something a little bit different. I will use some of that B-roll later, a little bit of the shooting footage in this video. But today we're going to go over a little in depth of my competition gun, my Glock 47. Glock 47 Gen 5 MOS. You can see it's clear. No ammo in the room. No one else in the room with me. Now, I've not had this gun very long. I've only had it a month or two, shot 2 or 3 different matches with it. So far, so good. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I have made some upgrades to it, and we'll go over those real quick. inside the slide, I swapped the guide rod out for a tungsten guide rod. This gives it a little more weight in the front end, so that way it helps mitigate some of the recoil a little bit. Not so much, helps a little bit of the flip, but it also helps bring it down just a little bit quicker. In my opinion, some people may think differently. That's okay. Coming back, I put handle grips on it. I use the sandpaper texture. I think it's what it's called. It may be the extreme. I'll check that. But it's real rough, real gritty. So that way when you get your hands in there and get that good purchase, they stick. The tape here, it is just because on the back strap piece of the handle grip, it started to come off a little bit in one of my matches. So I just took just a little strip of tape, wrapped it around there so that way it doesn't come off. And I like it. The magwell, Springer Precision magwell. I don't have one of the big, huge competition magwells that weigh 16 pounds. Exaggeration. I don't like them. I mean, this one does just enough. It helps you get the real good reloads, real fast reloads. So for me, that's good enough. That's what I need it there for. And that way, just all around good magwell. Speaking of magwell, my magazine base plates are also Springer Precision +3. Now, each one of these +3s, I run 4. I got extended strength springs and competition followers, meaning it doesn't lock back on the last round. Advantage of that, I can get 1, maybe 2 more rounds in this magazine. I can get 23. So competition, you can get as many bullets in there as you can. Now, this back strap, I went over it before a little bit on other videos. I have this on all my Glocks. On this one, my other 47, and my carry 45. It's on all 3. That's how much I like them. It helps mitigate some of that real steep Glock grip angle. Like I said in other videos, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but some people who may have not seen it before, the Glock grip angles are really extreme, and some people think they're over exaggerated. Without that back strap, when you go to present to get a good sight picture and your sights lined up, you have to break your wrist over just a hair, just a little bit. What this back strap does, adds a little bit of width right there at that beaver tail, and adds a little bit for the beaver tail. So that way when you get your good high grip on there, wrap your hand around it, and go to present, you still have to break your wrist just a hair, but not nearly as much as without it. Some people like it, some don't. I like it. I think they're awesome. For me and this platform, total game changer. It's also made of real soft and absorbent rubber, so it's also a shock absorber. Take that what you will. It's a Glock. It's 9mm. There's not a whole lot of recoil anyway. Now, going inside the trigger, this is a Johnny Glock's combat trigger. This trigger comes with a striker that he did his voodoo magic on, as well as a safety plunger and his spring. He does whatever he does to them, and this trigger has gone from 5.5, 6 pound trigger to barely 3 pounds. I mean, it's flat face metal shoe as opposed to the stock Glock curved with that stupid dingus. I hate the OEM triggers. I hate the way they feel. I just can't do it. But this one, flat face, so it's almost 90 degrees. And once you defeat that safety, come back, there's the wall. I mean, that's all the take up it is, maybe a millimeter, and then it's crisp. People say glass like break. That's exactly what that reminds you of. Real crisp. And the reset, it's right there. And it pushes your finger right up, back in position, and you're ready to go. As a matter of fact, I have a trigger pull gauge. We'll see if I can get this to work right. I'm not the best with these. Especially off camera. Showing about 3.5. Personally, I think it's lighter than that. I'm just not good with those trigger pull gauges, and Glock triggers are notorious for being crap when you go to use them. Anyway, and his trigger too, the safety dingus is still there, but with the OEM, when you depress it, it's not flush. You still feel the dingus. With this one, it's a flush fit, and it's, again, fantastic trigger. On top, I put the Vortex Defender XL. I had a Holosun 507 competitor on, shot with the competitor for, well, since it came out 2 or 3 years. Really like it, but I ended up getting a Defender ST for my carry gun. Fell in love with that, so that's why I decided to give the XL a shot. And I'm going to say, to MOA dot, I am not disappointed in that dot whatsoever. All right, let's see. The only other thing that I might do later on that I haven't done yet is the slide stop. I may get an extended one or maybe even a raised one. And I might get a bigger mag release. Not sure yet, but as of right now, I like it the way it's set up. A lot of times I would have put suppressor height sights on here, but it really doesn't do any good because the Defender has such a high housing right there, and with the plate, the suppressor height sights are useless. They're moot because they can't get over that. So if you put them on, it's basically for aesthetics, and that's not me. One thing I will notice or bring to your attention, if you paid attention to one of my other videos when I was upgrading my friend's pistol, and I talked about how far forward the OEM trigger shoes are. If I'm not mistaken, I'll go back in the video and check. From the cocked position, the OEM trigger shoe was 0.65 inches, and I measured from the end of the trigger guard to the front of the trigger with the calipers. So I'm going to try that with the Johnny Glock's trigger just to see what kind of difference that is. So let me, and just like I said before, I am not a scientist. I am not scientific, so this is not going to be exact. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. All right. So Johnny Glock's trigger, when it's in the fire position, from the front of the trigger shoe to the back of the trigger guard, 0.48 inches. This trigger, and whatever he does, takes off almost a full 0.2 of an inch. Amazing. You can't beat it. I love this trigger. All right. So the Glock 47, you're basically looking at a Glock 17 with two differences. Dust cover, for one, it's not flush. In the Glock 17s, a good dust cover came all the way to the end of the barrel. Second change was, like I showed you before when I showed you the guide rod, is the guide rod. This guide rod is the same guide rod that's in a Glock 19, shorter. The Glock 17 were one long rod that went from the end of the muzzle up to the lug right there. This, you can see in here, just stops just below that, just inside there. I mean, you can take this guide rod out, stick it in the Glock 19, works perfect. You can't do that with the Glock 17. But that being said, with this guide rod and with this dust cover, you can take a Glock 19 slide and put it on your Glock 47. Basically give you a Glock 45, which, again, I have a Glock 45, I just don't have it here with me. I can take that slide off, take this slide off the 47, put the 45 on here, and I basically have another Glock 45. Just Glock's way of trying to be modular, trying to keep up with everybody. But that's okay. Everybody needs to innovate occasionally, right? So, a couple specs here. Obviously, it shoots a 9mm, 4.5-inch barrel. The weight with a loaded magazine, I'm looking off screen because I'm looking at the spec sheet. 34.29 ounces. Let's see, weight without the magazine, maybe a little bit different with this one because the dot and everything. The stock, 23.21 ounces. The gun shoots like a dream. I've not had any issues with it. Only issues I have has been ammo related, or when I got the Johnny Glock's trigger. Again, it comes with a striker spring, or striker, and two springs, a 4.5-pound spring and a 4-pound spring. I put the 4-pound spring in and I was getting quite a few light strikes. Put the 4.5-pound spring in that he initially sent it with, no issues from that point. So there's that. But overall, I give this gun 10 out of 10. I wasn't a Glock guy until I shot the Glock 47. Now I have two Glock 47s and a Glock 45. Didn't own a single Glock before that. So take that for what it is. I'm just a guy in his basement trying to make YouTube videos. So anyway, that's my take on the Glock 47. I'm going to run some B-roll, a little bit of shooting footage so you can see how it shoots. And hopefully you stuck around to the end of the video, because I have a couple questions for you. We got a few things we can do next. There's a couple weapons I want to go over with you that I like pretty well. Coming up, this is the Ruger RXM. It's the combination Ruger and Magpul. They got together and made an excellent gun. Glock clone-ish. It Generation 3 parts, but it's modular. So if you want to hear about this, let me know. We can definitely go do some shooting and give you a little review. I've probably got 500-600 rounds through this already, so it won't take me too much longer to get to where I feel like I can give you an honest opinion on it. Also, what we can do, or what I have planned to go over, is the Springfield Echelon. This one, a little more decked out, not a lot, haven't messed with any internals, but I really like this one as well. Trigger on this is fantastic for stock. If you want to see something with this, let me know. I'm going to be working on it. Hopefully it'll be soon. And finally, something else I want to go over soon is my other Glock 47. This one is set up a lot like this one, but instead of a competition trigger and a Johnny Glock's trigger, this one has an Apex Tactical. So hopefully I'll be able to get to the range soon. It will be a few days because I still work full time, so got to work the next week and a half or so. But like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know which of these that I showed you want to see first, and I'll get out to the range and get to shooting, and we'll bring you something that hopefully you like. And until then, I'm Chris. This is Chris Shoots West Virginia. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you next time. I would. Yeah.